Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to the On Delay Run podcast. We are honored that you would take some time and join us in our conversation today. We are super excited about our guest, who is a good friend of ours. But before we jump there, I just want to remind you that we are on the socials, TikTok and also Instagram. You can find us simply at ondelay.run. And then also, of course, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. It would help us out tremendously if you gave us a follow and also a rate and or a review. Make sure you share it with friends and family. We want to be able to get this out to as many people as possible that you would think that would enjoy these conversations. And so with that out of the way, Abe, I am pumped. I'm pumped about having our guest here with us today. He's a good friend and everything. And so why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our guest tonight?
Yeah, I'm also pumped with you. Like you said, good friend of the podcast. He coached a 2008 state champion cross country team here in Illinois. He's coached numerous IHSA state qualifiers, state champions, two-time USATF national runner-up team in the 13-14 boys division. Most recently, he founded the Northern Illinois Elite Cross Country Camp. This is Coach Evan Thorpe.
Well, Coach Evan Thorpe, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. Not much I'd rather do besides talk about running.
Well, awesome. Well, we are thrilled to have you on our podcast. It's been a while, and you've been a good friend, someone we've known for a little while now, and so we're excited to be able to have you on and just talk about running and about life and everything. And so, thank you so much for taking time to join us tonight. And so without like anything else, you know what, Abe has got he's got some questions to start us off on. And so, Abe, why don't you go ahead and ask what you have for Coach Thorpe?
Yeah, so Coach, for those who don't know on the podcast, before you were a running coach, you coached wrestling. Is that correct?
I did. I still am coaching wrestling right now.
So, how would you say, like, if you could walk us through your transition from like wrestling to running, like if there are similarities, like what made you switch over, and I don't know, just walk us through that process.
Yeah, sort of a crazy trip. Yeah, I think I have a
Mhm.
pretty unique, story. Just to back up a little bit, I actually came to Dixon from Galesburg. I was the head wrestling coach in Galesburg, Illinois. I came to Dixon to specifically be the wrestling coach. That's what I was hired to be, to teach a little bit and coach a lot of wrestling. And I was here, and we coached wrestling successfully for the better part of a decade. But it's about halfway in between that period of time. The cross country job came up, and I told my assistant wrestling coach, I said, I think I might apply for that job. Now, to back way up, I only ran cross country for 2 years in high school. I ran for a very poor program, and I never ran track. And so I really entered this world of cross country with no knowledge base whatsoever. I knew the kids deserved more than I had as far as my experience. And, I really jumped into it and just sort of fell in love with this. Well, I did run cross country for a couple of years. I always thought the weekend meets were special. I certainly had a view from the middle of the pack. I was never in the front of the pack. But I always thought they were special, and really enjoy the type of kids that gravitate towards the sport of cross country. As far as, the similarities, I think there's no tougher athletes than the wrestlers and the cross country folk. And even though we look a little bit different, there's a lot of similarities. You're out there really, you do have a team in cross country, but once that gun goes off, there's nobody to help you. You're out there on your own. Wrestling is pretty much the same thing. Tough sport, can be a very lonely sport at times. And so there is a tremendous crossover from one to the other.
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah. So,
That's
Coach, Abe, did you have a question? I'm sorry, you have a
oh,
follow-up
go ahead,
question?
go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, with that, with because you're back to coaching wrestling now, or helping with it as an assistant coach. So with cross country or running in general, like where did you learn, how to coach these kids? the training and all that kind of stuff. How did you learn that, or you put all that together? Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about cross country is the coaches are so inviting and they're so easily to approach. But when I started coaching cross country, I was actually in a master's program with our good friends Joe and Janet Erb from Winnebago, and I was in a master's program back then. There was no online school, and so Joe and Janet and I we were in the same class one night a week for 20 months. And in that period of time, I started coaching wrestling. And I was so intimidated by the thought because I knew there was so much that I didn't know. I actually told Joe Erb one night, I said, Joe, I will pay you $1,000 if you write my training for the first year. And Joe, of course, wouldn't take it and he sort of laughed that off, but I was serious. I would have paid him. And but we certainly met and he laid everything out that that he has done or that he does during the season. And so he was a big help. Our friend from Geneseo, Coach Donnie Fredericks was fantastic. He was a big help to me. And, people like Paul Vandersteen from Nico Valley, just people that I reached out. And so I just started reading, started doing a deep dive. Sort of a funny story that, nowadays this name doesn't mean a lot to people, but there was a famous running physiologist. He just passed away recently by the name of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
And so when I started, I remember going to the Sterling Track Club. My daughter was part of the Sterling Track Club when she was in fifth grade. And so the Newman coach, and as you talking to me, and she said, and Jack Daniels is my Bible. And I thought, well, I know the Catholics do it a little bit different, but that sort of surprised me. And so I go to the Illinois Track and Cross Country Clinic, and this guy pulls out the Jack Daniels running formula. Now, everybody in the world knows who Jack Daniels is, but I certainly had no idea. And I literally thought she was talking about the whiskey was her Bible.
That's funny. That's really funny. And so we fast forward a little bit, so you actually were able to coach your son. Is that right?
I was. And so, yeah, Simon was actually my daughter too, Jose.
Okay.
She was part of that program as well.
Okay. So how was that dynamic for you when you were coaching your own children as you were the head coach?
It was with Simon, who's our head coach now. It was fine. Simon was just one of the guys. The team then was a little bit like it is now. They did a lot of things together. They hung out together, and it was fine. And Simon certainly was very talented. He came in and he was pretty much the guy from the get go, and those were all just his buddies. Um, my daughter was a little bit tougher, to be honest with you. So my daughter she would have been a junior when Simon was a freshman. She was part of a pretty competitive crew of girls. And that was a little bit tougher. And it was tougher on her. It was tougher dealing with some of the other parents in that situation as
Mhm.
well. It wasn't easy. And at times it wasn't fun. And I think, Jose, you're not going to be surprised by this. Now, as intense as I can be now, you know, take me 15, 16, 17 years ago, and to draw that separation between dad and coach, there's times that I ultimately failed pretty miserably, to be honest with
Mm.
you.
Yeah. So I'm curious, for maybe some of our listeners who may be coaching, maybe their children are about to start coaching some of their children in cross country or maybe in any sport. Like how would you maybe give some advice? What advice would you give those parents slash coaches that do have their children on their team running or some other athletic sport? What did you learn and what would you share with them?
Yeah, what would I do over now? Basically, if I had to do over again, what would I do? And to be honest with you, I would be quiet at home. And
Mm,
that's very difficult for coaches. And, but your kids are listening to what you're saying at practice, and you don't need to reinforce it at home. And so that's probably where I failed. I was trying to control things that I didn't need to control.
mm,
And so it was. it was, especially with my daughter. And then I have a younger daughter as well. And, there's a couple years younger than Simon. And so I think my daughters would probably tell you that dad was pretty tough. And I've got, to be honest with you, I have a lot of regrets. So we have a great relationship. My girls are in town and
Mhm.
we talk every day. But at the same time, I certainly failed at that. And so I would just caution the coaches that are coaching their own kids, do everything you can to leave it at the course, leave it at the school, just to, separate that, out. And I think a lot of, Jose, I came up short in my athletic career and I had a lot of regret. I was a wrestler and I came very close to, my goals, but I had an unhealthy relationship, where I identified myself as a wrestler. That was my identity. Well, that's
Mm.
silly. It takes a lot of years to understand you are so much more than your sport.
Mm.
And so, but it's taken me, I'm 53 years old and it probably took me 52 years to figure that out.
Mm.
And so, your kids are so much more than the sport that they're involved in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some good advice there. Some good hopefully, if you are a coach out there and you're listening, I think that is some really sound advice to be able to help pace yourself as you are coaching maybe your own children in any sport, really, and everything. So, Abe has another question, but before we get to that, I do have. So you won a cross country state title in 2008. And your son, Simon, who is currently the coach at Dixon now for the high school, won a state title here just this year, or this school year. So there is a moment that I was able to capture on video that has been on our cross country kind of state recap video, where you were pretty emotional about the win and the team succeeding and what their goal was at the beginning of the season. And you hugged, I forget, I don't know who it was you hugged, but you were hugging somebody. Could you maybe share a little bit with us, like what that was like for you, for supporting your son now, who is the head coach, and kind of all the emotions that were kind of flooding through. I don't know if you had time to reflect on that or just kind of, think about that. Could you maybe walk us through those moments?
Yeah, it was great, just to be able to do this on a daily basis with my son and be able to see my son is an incredible blessing. I work with him, he's the head coach, but I'm the middle school coach. In track, same thing. He's at the high school, I'm in the middle school, but we do the club together. And so, he knows and I know that we're a team package and we really, work well together. I think I know he appreciates the time that I put in and I certainly know what he does as well. And we got so close in the past, back, I said, well, it's not your identity, but it's really important and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And we got fourth the year before, and then to be able to win with the group of kids that Jose, we don't like these kids. We love these kids. We're invested in them, and I think they know it. I think they know they can come to us, and to be able to win that state title was an incredible feeling. And then man, I'm telling you what, I just sit back and I laugh and I think about all the great coaches in Illinois, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, some of them here when we talk about the camp, but all the incredible coaches in the state of Illinois, and to be able to say that this overweight, displaced wrestling coach won a state title. And not only that, his son, and it's the only father son combo to ever win that, is just, man, I'm telling you what, Jose, when I'm in at the nursing home, I'm going to be telling people that fact that we're the only ones that have ever done it. And so that's just an incredible feeling. And we work so hard, and people, it because you were with us and
Hmm.
the miles we put in. And the trips to Palatine and the trips to the Midwest Regional and the Nationals, and in the Gately stadiums coming from Dixon. Those are 2 hour drives, and we
Hmm.
put so much time into it. It was a huge relief. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great. That experience and just seeing that was certainly an amazing thing. And, you know, um, of course, Abe was part of the one of the USATF teams that was a runner up. What that
Mm.
was not last year, but the
I think
previous
it's two
year. So
years
that
ago. Mhm.
yeah, two
yeah.
years now. So Abe has seen the work and, been part of the traveling and all those kind of things that have taken place. And so we want to say, we're thankful for you and thankful for Simon
Thank you.
for all the work that you guys have put in to not only the club, but also, in a high school and a middle school to be able to build a program that can be as best as it possibly can and everything. And so we maybe just transitioning just a little bit here. Abe, why don't you go ahead and ask about the questions we had previously about the camp.
Yeah, so you mentioned it earlier about the camp, Northern Illinois Elite Cross Country Camp, which I've been going to for the past 4 years. It's a great camp. Most recently it was 2 weeks, but before that it's just been a week long. Other teams in the surrounding area, coaches that are friends of the program. It's just a great overall experience, like with the community, getting to bond with these guys. So if I could give you a chance to talk about that, just how you thought of it, how it came to be, if this has been like a dream, and how you've seen it executed.
Yeah, absolutely. This camp goes all the way back till 2007, and it was just our camp. It was just our Dixon camp, and I shared a vision that I had with one of my parents, and I said I really want to take the kids to a campground for a week, and I sort of evolved from there. Our first year, we just tented it. We didn't have any speakers. And then we went to the cabins, and then we went to bringing speakers in. And then fast forward all the way into 3 years ago, I wanted to expand it. And so I asked our good friends, Joe and Janet Erb from Winnebago, that we've already talked about, and Randy Moore. And we met up in Rockford, and I said, hey, I would like to invite you to bring your program to our camp. And we sort of, we formed that. And the name Northern Illinois Elite Cross Country Camp was something that Joe Erb came up with. And
Mhm.
so, we've expanded on the camp, and it was just one of those things where I thought, you know what, we can do this, and we can do it better than what's being offered, and we can do it cheaper too.
Mhm.
And so 3 years ago, we had about 100 people on campus with the Rockford Christian, Winnebago, and Dixon kids, basically fifth through 12th graders. And that gave me the confidence that, hey, we can do a second week, and we can open it up to anybody in the area, in the country that wants to come. And so last year was the first year that we had 2 weeks of our camp, and so it just sort of took off from there. Being my wrestling background, camps were important. You
Yeah.
went, you got the information, and like I said, I just wanted to provide this to kids and also to coaches, and
Mhm.
coaches can bring their kids, and so that's sort of the evolution of where it started and where it is. And this year is going to be our second year. This is going to be our second year of having an all comers camp, and so we're real excited about it.
Mm. So Coach, with that, where do you hope to see this camp that is open to anybody? Where do you hope to see this, like we'll say in 5 years or so?
We're always going to have our Dixon camp. That's very important. We say that's the lifeblood of our program,
Mhm.
and it gives the kids an opportunity to really bond. And so that is going to be, definitely, that will definitely stay. This summer, our goal, and we're definitely going to hit it. There's no doubt about it. We're going to be around 85 to 90, and 85 to 90 campers. And then when we throw in the college, the college runners that come in to help, the speakers, all the staff, now we're looking at over 100 people. And so, but I think there's a need out there. And to be honest with you, the next step is to do an all girls camp and
Mm.
to separate out the boys and the girls and to do a third week. And that's really, our camp that we have is based off of a camp that my daughter went to called Sub Five, and it was an all girls running camp.
Mm.
And we sort of modeled after Sub Five and Janet Leet and what she's been able to do.
Okay. So
So,
go ahead,
oh,
Abe.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, for me, going to this camp every year and being able to be with the team and like, just hang out with them and run with them every day has been like a great experience because I get to actually know my teammates and like really bond with them. So, you said it's the lifeblood of the program. What do you think makes the camp so important for the program and for the runners in general?
Well, I think there's, we're going to focus on the Dixon camp for a second, but I think
Mm,
that the opportunity for those kids to get away, get out of town, and get busy doing things away from everybody else in town is very important.
mm,
There's they just get to be with each other and to interact with one another, and I truly feel that we have to spend intentional time together. If you don't if you don't know somebody, you can't care for somebody.
mm,
Mm.
And not only do we need to care, we need to love our teammates. And how do you love a teammate that you don't know about, or you don't really know them, you don't really care for them? You just don't know. And so that's so important that we get out of town and that we spend that time together.
mm.
Mm. And so for that was for the Dixon, like primarily for the
Yes.
Dixon camp. So what would you say is the benefit for like that second camp? You have kids that maybe they're not part of Dixon. Maybe they come from one of the suburbs or Central Illinois or anything. So what would be the benefit for them for that second camp?
Yeah, the second camp is designed. Actually, this year is the first camp because it's earlier than it was. The Dixon camp has been moved back, but I think it's designed differently intentionally. And so we think that when we have our team camp, when we have speakers at our Dixon team camp, we certainly know that the sixth, seventh, and eighth grade boys and girls just want the speakers to be quiet so they can go play gaga ball or go down to the lake. And so, but the second camp is designed totally different. We bring in 10 speakers over 5 days, lots of educational sessions, top flight speakers, motivational pieces. And so we really line the speakers up to cover every base. As far as, this year we have a nutritionist coming in. She's going to lead a parent seminar the first day. We have a therapist coming in that's going to talk about a healthy balance in their life and in their running and their academics. We have a college coach coming in. We have, we have two female high school coaches coming in this year, and then obviously we have your high school so the men that are going to be there as well. Fantastic. And so they're really coming in to really do a deep dive in the sport of running, to learn more about themselves and to really find that missing piece to get them to that next level.
Mm. So that would be, I mean, it'd be a great opportunity for those outside of Dixon to be able to not only engage mentally in the sport and be inspired, but also maybe learn some things that they can apply to their life that would help them in running, but hopefully also help them in other areas of their career, their life, and those kind of things. So that sounds really good. And so, so remind us the dates for the ones that is open to anybody.
Yeah. So this year it's going to be Monday through Friday. It's June 15th through the 19th. And we're going to kick, that first day. We would have a parent seminar, and our nutritionist, Michelle Fumagalli, is going to be there. Jose, she's going to kick us off. She's highly recommended by Paul Vandersteen. She was a freshman of the year of Division I soccer.
She's going to do a nutrition piece on how parents can help fuel their runners. We also have Andy Craycraft from Millikan University is going to be there on Monday. Fantastic story. Andy's actually a lawyer that transitioned into full-time coaching. Graduated from University of North Carolina, was the ACC 800-meter indoor champ, and so very highly, accomplished and just a great overall guy. And so we're excited to have him there.
Wait, wait.
On Tuesday. Yep.
Wait. So he's from University of North Carolina?
No, he actually coaches at Millikan University.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to
Yep, he's at
clarify. Sure.
Millikan.
Okay.
He
All right.
graduated it. He graduated from North Carolina.
Okay. So he graduated from North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. So he's already a friend of mine. I can tell you that right now because I
There
love
you
the Tar
go.
Heels.
There you go. So
All right. Didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead.
that's okay. Just going down the days, one of the speakers that I am thrilled to have is Jason Crow from Plainfield South. And
Okay.
so he intrigues me. I can't wait to learn from him. I mean, obviously, Plainfield South is an incredible program, and incredible programs have incredible leaders. And I think he's an incredible leader. And so the campers are going to be able to learn from him. And that's on Tuesday, along with Lindsay Calvario. She's a therapist that's coming in. She has a passion to work with runners. She's a Division I runner. Ran in Illinois, but ran at University of Jacksonville. So she's going to be there on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have the Herbs coming. And so we know Joe and Janet Herb, but the people that might be listening to this, they're like, they're from Winnebago, small town. They've got to be the most accomplished coaching duo in the history of Illinois in any sport. They have 20 IHSA state trophies, and they have
Wow.
11 state titles in those 20 trophies. When I sit there and I reflect on what we've accomplished in Dixon, I feel pretty good. And then I look at the Herbs and I'm like, this is I am small change compared to these guys. And so
Yeah.
they're going to be there on Wednesday. And then we also have, this is a big one too, Christian Patska. He's from the University of Wisconsin Whitewater. We have a connection with Christian. He spoke at our Dixon camp last year. He's coming to the NIL Elite XC, 13-time All-American, 6-time national champ. Ran for
Mm.
the University of Whitewater. He's running professionally now. And so he is fantastic. So he is going to be up there on that Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're going to have James Kearney from Lewis University. He's one of our favorite college coaches. We consider him one of the best coaches in the country. We don't know them all, but he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we feel very good about sending kids to him. Very accomplished. And then on Thursday, we also have Michaela Olson from Hersey High School, and she is a fast rising star in the world of Illinois cross country. And so she's from Hersey, which is in Arlington Heights. So we're excited about her being there as well.
Nice. Well, I mean, it sounds like you have you covered a lot of different bases, from the physical nutrition to the mental with some of the counseling or therapist speaking, and of course some of the coaches that are coming to be part of that. So
Yep.
it sounds like you have a lot of different bases being covered there. So I mean, that would be a great opportunity for any sort of runner at any level to be able to be a part of, and parents to be able to get
Yep.
your students there too. And Coach, is there a website that people can go to be able to check this out?
There is. We actually have a website and this is our registration page as well. And it's NILEliteathletics.com.
Okay.
And so we have a Facebook page as well that's similar to that. And so you can find us on Facebook. And as I'm looking it up here as well, right in
Yeah,
front of me,
it's
it's
awesome.
just Northern Illinois Elite XC Camp. And
Okay.
so on the Facebook page, we have bios of all the different speakers and different things. And then, Jose, I just want to throw it out there for people that are listening, that are thinking about this camp. Obviously, we only run one time a day. We get that question from the coaches all the time. Hey, they don't want to send them there and run 80 miles. Well, coaches, it's the first week in June. We're not interested in that either. And so the running, we're there to learn about running, but that's probably the least important thing that we do all week long.
Mm.
And then so the camp is it's 4 nights, 5 days, and if you come with a team of 5, Jose, it's only $450. That's that team rate per person. And so when you look at some other camps around, the price point is fantastic. You're at a campground, beautiful place in Green Lake, Wisconsin. And so for the speakers, the price, the facilities, once you're there, you need no more, you do not need any more money. And we have 900 acres to run. So we do not leave to run like some other camps have to do.
Okay. So we'll certainly add those links to the show notes, so you'll be able to find that in the Spotify uh, links. So you'll see that. We'll certainly put that on there. And so real quick, I mean, Abe, I know you already touched on it. You talked about it and everything from because you've been. Uh, could you maybe uh, share like your perspective of it, and then also why maybe you would like say, hey, maybe you guys really should consider this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going there ever since I was in, I think summer after fifth grade, maybe after sixth grade. But it's just a great time in general. Getting to bond with people, getting to be with people who share your love for running. You get to learn about running. My experience like in middle school was, I would say, vastly different from my experience last year going into high school. Like Coach Thorpe said, when you're in middle school, all you want to do is go out there, play gaga ball, or go swim in the lake. But last year, especially, I could hang out with my teammates and go and really just like enhance my running, just my knowledge of running. And the speakers are so great. You can learn a lot from them in a short amount of time. So I would say why you should go. It'll really just help you fall back in love with the sport of running. It's hard not to enjoy it. You get to run in the morning, hang out with your friends all day. You learn more about running at night. It's a great time in general. So that's why I would say
Nice.
to go.
All right. So Abe, in your estimation, how's the food at this camp?
The food is phenomenal, I would say. Coach
All right.
Thorpe's wife, it makes a lot of the food there. So, yeah, it's really great.
All right, awesome. So we don't have to worry about the kids not being fed because you will be fed. Yeah.
That's one of the things with my wrestling background. We tend to overfeed people. So
It's all good. It's all well. I'm sure they'll be hungry. So I know some runners who can put it down. So, so Coach, just a couple questions just to kind of get to know you a little bit more. Of course, you've had a lot of experience with running over coaching running over the past several years, and you have seen a lot of runners come through the program. Just for maybe some of our listeners who don't know you, here's some questions just to kind of get to know you. So, first one is, who would you say is your favorite type of music or artist that you listen to uh, on a regular basis?
oh, I'm tuned into Lithium on Sirius XM, no doubt about it. So
Okay.
I graduated in 1990, and so grunge metal is what I listen to.
Oh, grunge metal. Okay, okay. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
a little bit of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, those kind of things.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Uh,
late Motley Crue as well. So
okay. All right. So there you go. Uh, that's some good music there. I know some of that music, so that's really good. All right. So next question is this. So you see this behind me. It is a montage of different Marvel characters. So if you had to choose either DC and or Marvel, what team would you be on a cross country team?
hey, you're gonna hate this answer, I hate those movies. I really do. I do not watch any of those movies, and I don't
Okay.
even know on whose team.
Okay.
I guess
Fair.
You know what? I like some of the Superman movies are okay.
Okay. All right. So you enjoy at least Superman.
Yes,
Yeah.
Superman would probably be my guy, I guess.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Next one is if you were sitting down, you're watching, say, a sports event or whatnot, and you had to have a snack with you to watch that event. What is the snack of choice for you?
Oh, it's definitely something chocolate.
So anything chocolate?
Yeah, anything
Okay.
chocolate.
So
Yes.
like Reese's Buttercups or Snickers, anything?
Yeah, I would say Reese's would be probably the go-to.
Okay, Reese's is the go-to. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and so then here's one more. So, for you, what would you say is more enjoyable, to wake up early and go to a cross country meet, or going to a track meet that lasts most of the day?
Oh, it's definitely cross country. I mean, there's no doubt
Okay.
about it.
All right,
So
all right.
I love
So
it.
cross country is the answer there for you. Awesome.
Yes, for
Uh, uh,
sure.
that's awesome. So, Coach, I'd like to at least give you an opportunity. If there was for our listeners who may be a high school runner, middle school runner, if there's anything that you could say for inspiration for them for the upcoming. High school is about, there's already starting indoor track and they're going to outdoor track, of course. Middle school, well, they still have a little bit to go to outdoor track. Is there anything that you'd like to share for motivation, inspiration, or just a challenge to maybe some of our listeners that may be listening?
Yeah, a couple thoughts that I just go back to is that getting better as a runner is easy. Let me say this. Hold on. I said that wrong. Darn it. Uh, Getting better as a runner is simple, but simple ain't easy.
Hmm.
And so, obviously, to be a better runner, you just got to run. It's very simple. 90% of it is you got to go out and you got to put the miles in. And so, and the other thing is you got to do it with somebody else. And so some of these kids that we work with in the off season, I encourage them, you've got to get somebody else to do it with you. It's very difficult to do it by yourself. So if you're out there, talk to a friend, get them started. But, like I said, it's simple, but simple isn't easy all the time. You just have to do it. I mean, that's the consistency is the key. Everybody you've had it on your podcast, nobody would disagree with that. You've got to be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is one of those keys, and it's absolutely important.
Right.
So, Abe, do you have any questions or comments for Coach before we wrap this up?
No, not really. Just, once again, thank you for coming on. Great to talk to you. Great to hear about the camps more. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to it. It's
mm,
certainly in the back of my mind. We already have 50 people signed up. And so when we add the Dixon kids in, when we add another team that we're saving spots, we're looking at having less than 30 spots, that are open right now. And so if you're thinking about it, reach out, contact me or Coach Thorpe, Simon, and just let us know, and we'll give you any information you're looking for.
All right. So thank you, Coach, again for your time. We really do appreciate it and giving us some information about the camp and also about you and just sharing some of the background stuff. So that's awesome. That's awesome that you would do that. So for those who have been listening, thank you for taking time to listen today. We will certainly have those links in the show notes that would be in Spotify in case you are interested. I would really encourage you to be able to check it out at least and consider sending your runner there if you are able to. And just real quick, remember, take some time to enjoy the week, and then also please remember we are on the socials for TikTok and also Instagram. Very simple, andale.run. And if you would give us a follow on Spotify, a rate or a comment or a review would be incredible and be it would help us out tremendously to be able to get this out all over Illinois. And so thank you again for listening. And may I say one more time, because I love saying this word, and it's the name of our podcast. I hope you get out there and you accomplish all your goals this week. And remember, as you're doing that and you do finish them, andale, because you've accomplished something incredible. So, hey guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, we hope you have a great week. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.